Welcome to the France 24 Observers, the show that's based on our network of ordinary people who are our eyes and ears around the world. We begin today in New Caledonia, a French territory in the South Pacific. The inhabitants are a mixture of Europeans, Asians, and indigenous Melanesians. Our observer commutes every day to the capital Nouméa. It should take just about half an hour. But for months now, the road has been regularly blocked by members of a local Melanesian tribe.
It all started with a nickel processing plant owned by the Brazilian mining giant Vale. There was an acid leak at the plant, and the young men in the tribe took that as a reason to say, "We don't like it, so we're going to stage a revolt." They started out by building barricades with branches and other objects, even refrigerators. They started setting fires along the side of the road, and then things got even worse. They started throwing stones and bricks and going around in gangs armed with machetes. The police had to send in armoured vehicles several times to keep the road open. One morning, there must have been half a dozen vehicles burned along the road. There's no way to talk to these people. They won't negotiate. I live in Mondor. It's a town with people from all different ethnicities. Everyone gets along and there have never been problems. But now people are beginning to think twice about their neighbours. When they see a Melanesian, some people get nervous. We had a hard time getting the authorities in the capital, Nouméa, to react. Every time something happened, they'd say it was an accident or something else, but they never acknowledged what we were going through. All we want is for the road to be safe and for the police to be more reactive. The problem is that people's first reaction right now, even mothers, is to get their hands on a weapon.
To date, several policemen have been injured in the unrest. Our observers say that the troublemakers are just a few dozen young men out of a tribe that numbers nearly 2,000 people. They say it's a shame that the violence is overshadowing the real problem, the environmental disaster. To Tripoli now, the capital of Libya. University classes in the city have been delayed because of fierce fighting between rival militias. But rather than sitting back and taking it easy, many students are rolling up their sleeves to help rebuild homes that have been damaged in the fighting. Here's our observer, Moad.
Some of the houses caught fire after being hit by shells. Others have had their roofs cave in. We are lucky enough to have several volunteers who are fully qualified to paint, to fix roofs, and redo interior walls. We posted a video online about a low-income family whose home was looted. We're trying to help them. The father was a taxi driver, but since he had a stroke, he's been unable to work. We posted their story on our Facebook page, and there was a response from people who wanted to help. They chipped in to pay for 3 months of the family's rent. Other donors gave a washing machine and a refrigerator. We also raise money by putting donation boxes in popular places like mosques and restaurants. There are, in theory, emergency units in the city, but they don't have the budget to fund any reconstruction. We sometimes hear that they're planning to list all the damaged buildings and make payouts for rebuilding. But we can't wait. We want to get things done now.
Now for some more reports and images sent in by our observers. 2 men exchanging rings on board a boat on the River Nile in a mock wedding ceremony. Even though homosexuality is not against the law in Egypt, the 2 men in the video were arrested, although they were later released after so-called medical tests failed to prove they were gay. Gay Egyptians say they are routinely harassed by the police. Our observers say the authorities have been known to go on gay websites like Grindr to set up sting operations. Next stop, the airport in Karachi. Passengers waiting for a Pakistan Airlines flight are told via announcements and text messages that there is a 2-hour delay because of technical problems. When 2 political bigwigs show up, one of them a former interior minister, the passengers think the plane was delayed for them, and they are furious.
You're not a minister anymore. You people have to become humans. You have to get down to that.
In the end, the passengers managed to prevent the politicians from boarding. They had to get a later flight.
Goodbye.
Last stop, the Lewa Wildlife Park in Kenya, where our observer Paula Kahumbu looks after baby rhinos whose parents have been killed by poachers. She uses mud baths to teach them how to keep their skin safe from insects and injuries, techniques that could save them from potentially fatal infections. That's it for this week. As always, you can find more reports from our observers on our website, on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and on our apps for mobiles. See you next time.